Hey guys, my name is Gabby, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. I am so sorry that this video is posted late. It freaking kills me that this is posted late, but I was literally uploading my June wrap-up on the 29th of June, and then my laptop gave me the blue screen of death, and it's not even a year old, and I can't figure out what's going on, so I'm gonna have to take it in later, but for now, I deleted the video off my SD card already, so I have to refilm it today, and I'm gonna be editing it on my sister's laptop and posting it as soon as possible. But I'm so sorry this is late. It really irks me because I had this video done and edited and uploading to YouTube when my laptop died, so This month I read a total of 5 books. Not super happy with it, but this month has been kind of a really long month for me. My grandpa just died at the beginning of the month, and so my family just got back from California. We went down for a week to go to the funeral and visit family and stuff, so it's kind of been a hectic month, and I honestly haven't been reading as much, and I just finished my quarter for spring quarter earlier in June, so it's just kind of been crazy, so I wasn't reading a ton, but I did manage to read 5 books, and I'm going to be telling you about this today. Let's just jump right So the first book I read this month was Bad Mommy by Taryn Fisher. This is the first book I've ever read by Taryn Fisher, but it definitely will not be my last. I freaking love this book. This is a thriller contemporary novel that's about this girl named Fig, and she sees this little girl, and she believes that this little girl is like her daughter. Like, she had a miscarriage and her daughter died, and so she believes that this little girl like is her daughter, and so she moves into the house next door of this little girl, and she starts to become obsessed with her parents, and she starts to kind of like stalk them, and it's just really creepy, and I freaking loved this book. It was so interesting. Fig's voice kind of reminded me of Joe Goldberg from the book You by Carolyn Kepnes, so if you liked the book You, then I definitely think you would enjoy this one too. It has those same like stalkery vibes as a main character. I really love it. And this book is broken down into 3 parts, and it's told from 3 different perspectives, and it's always so unique and surprising to see the new perspectives. Like, you think you understand these characters, and then you read from their perspective and you're like, whoa, I had no idea what was going on in their head, and like, it's just so interesting to get in the head of these 3 characters. I just really enjoyed this one, and the ending, like, oh my god, Taryn Fisher has some huge balls for pulling off that ending. Like, that was definitely a risk, and I super appreciate it. I thought it was freaking fantastic, so I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. It's definitely one of my new favorite books of the year. The second book I read this month was Heels Over Head by Elise Springer, and this is a male-male romance story that follows 2 divers who are going to be competing in the Olympics. Super rad. So our main character's name is Jeremy, and he is a diver who's been diving like his entire life, and now he's like 21 years old, and this is going to be his year to compete in the Olympics. And so we see him like working with his coach. His coach decides to bring in another diver and coach one more diver, and it kind of like pisses Jeremy off because he's been working one-on-one with his coach for like his whole life. Now the coach decides to bring in this other diver named Brandon, who isn't as serious about diving, he just enjoys doing it, and so it kind of pisses off Jeremy because he's so committed and like diving is his whole life. You know, Brandon is like openly gay and he's very flirtatious. Jeremy is like really far into the closet. Like, he is gay, but he doesn't, like, I don't even think he knows he's gay yet, you know? But it's just sad because Jeremy is so paralyzed with fear about coming out because his dad and his brothers are always like on him about being so weak, and like how they say diving is a weak sport and it's a gay sport, and he just gets a lot of shit from his family already, and he's like, his family doesn't even know he's gay, so it's just really sad to see Jeremy, you know, be closeted and be so insecure with who he is. But oh my god, you guys, this is like one of my new favorite male-male romances of all time. It's just such a beautiful story. I fell so hard for Jeremy and Brandon and them together. It's just so cute and so beautiful, and like, I love a good forbidden romance, I love a good sports romance, and I love a good LGBT romance, and this book just has everything. I just thought seeing Jeremy finally start to like accept himself for who he is and falling for Brandon was just so cute to see, and I love this book so much. I think it's definitely like one of my favorite books of the year, and I would highly recommend it if you're looking for like a really cute like forbidden sports, like but diving and swimming type of sports romance. I just think it was really, really good. Highly recommend this one. The third book I read this month was Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, and this is the second book I've read from this author. I read Made You Up last year and I ended up really enjoying it. So this story follows this girl named Eliza, and she is an author of this webcomic series online that she created, and she like draws the series, and it's her own series, and it has like millions of viewers and fans online. Like she has people writing fan fictions about her story. So I thought that was super interesting to read about. It kind of reminded me of Fangirl in that way. Like Eliza's very similar to Kath, and that Kath has her online fan fiction of Simon Snow, but in this case she's the creator, and people are writing fan fictions about her story. So I thought that was super cool. I thought Eliza was honestly like a super relatable character for me, with her like social anxieties and just the way she reacts to things, you know, like how she talks about how it's so important that she has online friends, you know, because they're like, sometimes online friends can be better than real life friends because they're always there for you, and sometimes they know you better than your real life friends do. Totally understand where she's coming from with that, and I liked the way that her parents didn't fully understand her online friendships in this book, and I think that a lot of parents of this generation don't really understand what it's like to have really strong online friends, you know, and I appreciated the discussion about that in this book a lot. Also, I loved how the artwork from her graphic novel was shown in the book. I just thought that was really cool, and it made it a lot more like visual and beautiful to me. I also really love her like innocent relationship with Wallace. I just thought that they were so cute, and every scene they had together I was just like, cute. And so I really did enjoy this book. However, like some of Eliza's decisions were just I mean, I did really enjoy her character, and I respected her like social anxieties, and I related to her so hardcore, but then some of her decisions about the way she would treat Wallace just didn't really sit right with me, and it kind of like pissed me off, and some scenes towards the end were just kind of like getting on my nerves with the way she like treated people around her. I just didn't really agree with her on some parts, and if you want to see my full review talking about specifically what I didn't like, I'll leave a link in the description for my Goodreads review when I go more into spoilery details about it. Other than that part, I did really enjoy this book, and I think it is one of my new favorites, and I really enjoyed Eliza's character, and so I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. The fourth book I read this month was Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker, and I wanted to say thank you so much to Atria Books for sending me an e-copy ARC on my NetGalley. Super appreciate it, and I was really excited to read this book because K.A. Tucker has become one of my new favorite authors after reading He Will Be My Ruin was one of my favorite books of last year, so I was highly anticipating this one, not only because it's a K.A. Tucker book, but because it follows a romance with a hockey player, and that's like my guilty pleasure. Unfortunately, this book ended up being kind of disappointing to me. So this book follows this girl named Catherine who experienced this crazy thing when she was a teenager that like was a huge controversy, and the whole like town knows about it, and they know her story. Now that she's an adult, she's working, she has a 5-year-old daughter, and she works as a waitress in this diner that she's been working at since her daughter's been born, and it's in this really small town, and everybody knows everybody, and you know, and then one night she is driving home from this really bad blind date, and she sees this car on the side of the road that's like off in the ditch, and she sees this guy in there that's like struggling, and he's gonna like die because the car is gonna like explode or whatever, and so she goes and drags the guy out of the car and saves his life basically. She doesn't realize until the next day that the guy she saved out of the car was this super popular, well-known hockey player, but she doesn't want to be like named in the news. She's like very anal about it. She's like, I don't want, everybody already knows my story, I don't want to be in the news anymore. The hockey player's mom is this huge Hollywood actress named Meryl Price, which totally made me cringe and roll my eyes because it sounds so similar to Meryl Streep, and there's just like why, you know? This book was disappointing to me because the romance wasn't all that great in my opinion, and it didn't even happen until like more than halfway through the book. I mean, this book is really repetitive, and it focuses on the incident of her saving this guy from the car. That's like all this book is about. She's gonna do interviews for the news for it, and they have to beg her, and she doesn't want to do it, and there's reporters on her lawn, and it's all like so dramatic, and like his family's trying to contact her to like say thank you, and she doesn't want them to, and she's so stubborn, she doesn't want her daughter to know about it, and like so repetitive. I was just getting so sick. It was like reading the same thing over and over and over and over every chapter of like her being like, no, I shouldn't, but maybe, I don't know, and so frustrated. And like I read it for the romance, and there's barely any romance, and it's not even that great. I didn't feel the chemistry at all. I just didn't really enjoy this one. I was so disappointed, and I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read this month was Misbehaved by Charlie Rose, and this is a student-teacher romance that I saw on Goodreads, and I was like, you know what, it's getting good reviews, why not? I love student-teacher romances. They're my guilty pleasure too. This follows this girl named Remy who is living with her stepbrother named Ryan. They've been step-siblings for years now, like since they were kids. He's like a clingy, obsessive type of stepbrother who's always like wanting to know what she's doing, and he wants to be more her boyfriend than her stepbrother, you know? So they have this really awkward relationship, and they're living in Vegas, and they live in this area that's like not very good. She finally gets accepted into this like privileged school that she's been wanting to get into, and so she's so excited about it. And then she meets her teacher, Pierce James, who is this super hot teacher that they like immediately have so much chemistry, and he just wants to like protect her because he knows about her brother, and just such an interesting story. And it's not like any of the other student-teacher romances that I've read. I really loved Pierce and Remy's chemistry. I thought their chemistry was definitely the highlight of the book, and they were just so good together. I was just like shipping it so hard, you know? But I also really enjoyed Remy's relationship with Ryan. I thought it was a really interesting relationship to read about because he is her stepbrother, but he doesn't act like her stepbrother, you know? He tries to be more of like a boyfriend to her. I don't know, I thought their relationship was very interesting to read about. I love the like forbiddenness of the student-teacher romance and the whole vibes. Like I loved it so much. The only problem I had with this book was that it was setting up a very obvious plot twist that like anybody could have seen coming from a mile away just reading the book from the beginning, and it was very obvious to me that something was going to happen, and I couldn't believe they weren't being more cautious about certain things. It was like, seriously? When the plot twist came, I don't know if we were supposed to be like surprised as readers, you know, but I definitely was like, oh, okay, I guess that's... yeah, saw that coming. So other than that, I mean, I really did enjoy the romance, which is why I read the book, so I am okay with it, I guess, you know? I really did end up loving this book, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Those are all the books that I read in the month of June. Oh, man, this video was such a fucking pain in the ass. So pissed. It was literally uploading to YouTube when my laptop, like, died. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm really sorry this went up so late. Ugh, it makes me cringe knowing this is up in July. Like, I really... But anyways, hopefully I'll be able to get my laptop situation figured out, and I'm pretty sure Booktube-a-thon is happening in July, so I would like for my laptop situation to be fixed before then because I want to participate in it. But for now, I'm probably just going to be uploading and editing from my sister's laptop, so hopefully everything goes smoothly. What was your favorite book that you read in June, and what was your least favorite book that you read in June? How many books did you read in June? Let me know in the comments and we can talk about it, and I will see you guys next time. Was hell... whoa. I said hells. There's like a lady on my front lawn. I think her dog's taking a shit on my front lawn. Fuck, what's it called? I just decided to give out. There's like a dog running down the street. Oh my god. Anyways.